So in today's video, I wanted to talk about a trick that I learned probably in about my first year of university that really made my playing kind of start to actually sound jazzy rather than just, playing a bunch of arpeggios and scales. And it's a trick that's been talked about a lot by the incredible player and educator Barry Harris. I believe he calls it diminished off of the 3. But I just wanted to show you this one trick because it's something that if you've been trying to, start your jazz guitar journey and you've been trying to play some of these notes and some of this vocabulary, this is one of the most powerful tools you could have in your arsenal that'll make you start sounding more legit than not. So this trick all revolves around dominant 7 chords. So let's say for this example, let's say we're talking about a 2-5-1 in the key of C. If you aren't familiar with what that means, that would be D minor 7, G7. So this is my 2, D minor 7. G7 is going to be my 5 chord. And then 1 would be C major 7 or C major 6. Either of those are totally acceptable options. But what we're going to want to do with this is particularly applies to when we're soloing over it, although you could use this substitution in your comping as well. So I'll talk about that at the end of the video. But if I were to play over D minor 7 and then G7, sorry, I'll play just a straight G7 to C major 7. If I were to play that in arpeggios, I might do something that sounded a little bit like this. And let's say this is a quick 2-5. So D minor 7 for 2 beats, G7 for 2 beats, and then C major 7 for 4. So we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I were to play that in arpeggios, let's say I descend down the D minor 7. So I'm going to start on C here on the 5th fret of my G string, which is my flat 7th. So if I were to play an arpeggio line over that, it might be something like... And then if I were to play just a G7 arpeggio, let's say that's my ending on the C major 7. So if we did that in time, we would get something like 2, 3, 4. Sorry. One more time. Now, here's where this trick comes into play, where over that G7, rather than thinking about playing a G7 arpeggio, so say, I'm actually going to think about playing a B diminished 7 arpeggio. Now, B diminished 7 contains the notes B, D, A flat, F and A flat. Skipped a note there. So B, D, F, and A flat. Now, the beauty in thinking about B diminished 7 over a G7 chord is that if we think of those 4 notes from the arpeggio, we have B, which is our major 3rd in relation to G. D is our 5th in relation to G. F is our flat 7th or our dominant 7th, and then A flat is a flat 9. So basically, if I think B diminished 7 over G7, I'm implying G7 flat 9, and I'm not playing the root in it, which makes it an even more exciting and kind of dramatic sound to dip your toes into. So rather than playing as my arpeggio for there, I'm going to do the exact same thing as I did before, but now I'm going to go B, D, F, A flat, and now that'll be my rundown. I'll go G, F, E, C when I get to that C major, and now when I do this sound, where I'm making a diminished off of the 3rd of my dominant 7 chord in my 2-5, I'm sure you will recognize this. So here I'll play the chord progression once to get it in your ear, and then I'll play my arpeggio kind of line through it. So we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You've heard that a million times. And now the cool thing about this diminished off of the 3rd, let's say for example actually that we were doing full bars of this. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I could do the same trick and go. Let me go da 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 da. Sorry. Da, 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 da. So there I used that same diminished trick. So what did I do there? I went down the D minor. I went da 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 da. B diminished. Da, 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 da. Then I thought just ideas over G7. So then I went G, F, D, D sharp, E, C. So that little line. Is a line that's very much in the jazz vernacular and a bit of a cliche. But now this trick works anywhere else as well. So let's say, for example, we were doing a 2-5 to the key of E flat major. So if we were in that key and we went to do the same thing, we would have F minor 7 for a bar, or let's say 2 beats. 1, 2, B flat 7 for 2 beats, 3, 4, E flat. And in that case, we do the exact same thing. So if I was trying to think of a diminished off of the third of my B flat 7, I would end up with D diminished. So here I'm just going to wing it a little bit and play a simple arpeggio line. So say it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Here we go. I like that. So 1 and 2. So what did I do there? I played down F7 or F minor 7. Sorry. Da. So starting on the third, I went 1 and 2, and now here I slipped it down by a half step to B, which is part of my D diminished arpeggio. Da, 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 da. And I just played a straight diminished arpeggio descending, and then I played do da do da da do da do da da, whatever you want to do on the E flat major. But again, just by putting that those little diminished bits off of the third of the dominant chord, you get this really powerful sound that's been used in jazz for decades. So I hope you found this useful. If you have any questions about it, please leave them down in the comments and I'll get back to you. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. It truly helps me out more than you could know. If you want to take a guitar lesson with me, there's a link to get in touch with me down in the description there. I'd love to work with you on whatever's troubling you on the guitar. If you want to support me and the free educational content that I put out here, you could subscribe to my Patreon, also linked down below. All of my patrons get early access to videos as well as some cool behind-the-scenes sneak peeks at stuff that I'm working on, so I'd love to see you over there. Another great way to support me in the channel here is to purchase either my ebook or my video course all about mastering triads on the guitar. Links are available in the description for those as well. It's a great way to get some longer form, more in-depth content from me that's, a little bit more in-depth than I can fit into a 10 or 15 minute YouTube video. And last but not least, I've got new videos coming out every single week, so I hope I'll see you in the next one. And until I do, I'll wish you a wonderful day, and I hope you have some fun playing the guitar. Thanks.